Does your gut tell you that Shannan and the kids walked out, or that they were taken out?
Yesterday I would have said they walked out. Today I would have said I'm leaning the other direction.
Okay. Can we talk about something that's kind of hard to talk about? So when I work investigations like this, I have to keep an open mind on everything. Okay. And part of keeping an open mind is listening to you talk about your wife and your marriage. And the day she goes missing is the day that you guys have marital discord. Okay. So you can understand what I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Makes me sick to my stomach, honestly. Like, I know, like, I've talked to a few of my friends, like, this does not look good on you. I'm like, I know. It's like, if people knew that we were having marital issues, they're going to look at me, especially with the way everything looks. And it honestly just makes me sick to my stomach, because this is something that I would never do. Ever. I know, like, you have to look at every vantage point. This is something I would never do to my kids or my wife at all. I'm not sure, like, what I could do, like, to make people believe that, just because if they knew we were having marital discord, they would automatically look at me. But I would harm anybody in my family at all. I know we were having marital discord, and we had that conversation that morning, and then she goes, we have no idea where she is, or the kids. I promise you that I had nothing to do with any of that.
Are you telling me the truth?
I'm sorry.
Why should I believe you?
Because I'm a very trustworthy person, and the people that do know me, they know how I'm a calm person. I am not an argumentative person. I am a person who is never going to be abusive or physical in any kind of relationship. I will never harm my kids. I will never harm my wife. You can talk to any of my friends, any of her friends. They know me. They know I'm a low-key guy that's quiet. I'm not about confrontation. I'm not about anything that elevates to that level. I mean, like, if someone like yells at me, screams at me, I just take it, and I just try to get it by the wayside and get it back to where it's just a cool conversation, to where, like, none of that gets to that height. Because I am not that person. I've never been that person.
Okay. You can imagine it's my job. Okay. And I told you that tonight, we would talk about things and might offend you, you know that we have to get to the bottom of this.
Oh.
You know that?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you take a polygraph?
He told me that, he went to North Carolina, and he was like, I'm going to talk to her when I'm in North Carolina and see if I can get her to do this, to, like, try to, like, rekindle the flame.
So try to salvage his relationship as you've been asking him.
Yes, and then if he decided...
When did you go to North Carolina?
I think it was, like, the last week of July, somewhere around there.
Okay.
So, I mean, this was, like, a couple weeks that I was just kind of, like, trying to push him to do that.
Let's pause at North Carolina, and we'll come back to that real quick.
Every single time Chris, Nikki, or anyone in regards to the Watts family annihilation? Why do they always interrupt when things are about to get interesting? Why do they do that? It's so flippin' floppin' annoying. My cat's even annoyed. Okay, let's get back to this.
I want you to read this. If you don't understand what it means, then ask me the question. But basically what it says is you have the right not to let me look at your phone. I'm asking to look at your phone for the purposes we previously discussed, for the text messages and your phone log, and unfortunately the photos that are attached therein too. That information is only relative to this investigation. I'm not looking at anything else except for the conversations between you and Chris Watts, and the phone data between you and Chris Watts for phone calls, for times and dates for those phone calls. And then the content of the text messages that are there. And we'll write that specifically down here. Understand that
I don't want anybody to get some of those texts. Like, they have nothing to do with this case, and they're just like...
Between you and Chris?
Yes, they're just...
So just tell me what you're...
They're just kind of raunchy.
Okay,
I don't need anybody...
Everybody's an adult.
Posted, like,
we're not gonna
somewhere...
Post it.
I don't want the newspapers to get that. That's all I want.
The only ones that we would be looking for, again, is the same kind of questions we're getting to here.
We are back at it with the back at it again. And we're coming for those Apache tears that were running down Shannan's face, that Chris Watts claimed was mascara. But if you watch our channel, then you know that we've been diving into plant-based drugs such as ayahuasca, psilocybin, devil's breath or dragon's breath. So let's get into some things that I noted that were kinda strange. If you catch what I'm schwaying, let's get into it. The name Apache Tear comes from a legend of the Apache tribe. About 75% of Apaches in the U.S. cavalry fought on the mountains overlooking what is now Superior, Arizona in the 1870s.
But I believe because they have the same agenda, because they both have the same, they both want to implement or put into place the new world.
Facing defeat, the outnumbered Apache warriors rode their horses off the mountain to their deaths rather than be killed. The wives and families of the warriors cried when they heard of the tragedy. Their tears turned into stone upon hitting the ground.
Apache tears are made of volcanic glass and are so called for the tears that Apache women cried after losing loved ones in battle. These tears petrified as they fell to the earth, becoming a form of black obsidian.
Is it another coincidence that Shannan Watts is a Capricorn, which is the astrological sign that Apache tears, aka obsidian, represent? Interesting. Leave your thoughts below. And is it another coincidence that Nichol Kessinger is holding what looks to me like either obsidian or, I don't know, y'all, that looks like obsidian or Apache tear to me. Comment below.
According to legend, these petrified tears may protect the wearer from grief and sorrow. Apache tears are tear-shaped and are formed from black obsidian that can either be rough or shiny and range from opaque to translucent in appearance. Working with the root chakra, Apache tears have a numerical vibration of 1 and resonate with the astrological signs of Capricorn, and Aries. They are a mineraloid with an amorphous crystal system and a hardness of 5 to 5.5 on the Mohs hardness scale. Apache
Comment
tears
below
are
if you
found
think
in
it's strange that Shannan Watts had black something coming out of her eyes and no one tested it. I think that's a little bit sus. I don't know what you guys think with the oil batteries and the girls. Comment your thoughts below. And again, this is all allegedly and theory. For your entertainment purposes only. Let's listen to some things that really stuck out to me and break them down. So let's get it.
Like this one time I had to pick up a spill and I had defrost on and I had like a headache for like 2 weeks because it's like the crude oil that comes in. It's bad. Trying to think of the last things we were talking about, but it was, you know, like I love you anymore, and then she was like, you're never gonna see the kids.
Oh,
That was it.
that's perfect, Chris. That's exactly what we need. Okay. And I know it's hard to walk through that again, but that's exactly what we need. So then, as soon as she started talking like that, then it was on. Okay.
But it was you saying that you didn't love her, is that right? Okay.
And her saying you're never going to see the kids.
Yeah.
Okay. I can imagine how that made you feel. I'm sorry. I can imagine how that made you feel. I'm sorry.
I did more than what I did. Did more than what I did.
Yeah. And then the fact that she didn't scratch at you or anything, is that just because it was so powerful?
I don't think it. I mean, I didn't feel like I've never done that before. Put my hands around anybody with force. I don't even know what kind of force I was putting on her neck.
Okay.
Like I said, 2 to 4 minutes. I don't know if that was 2 to 4 minutes.
Did you cover her face at all during that time?
Both hands on the neck. Okay. And so, if it's done right, I mean, that can be a matter of seconds before someone on their carotid loses oxygen to their brain and is out, right? Did it seem like it was that quick, or?
Okay. Maybe a minute, maybe 2. Okay. Screaming? Okay. All right. Did you see eyes go bloodshot or anything like that?
You kept talking about the mascara. Did you see mascara on her face?
Yes, it looked like it was like. That's what I attributed it to.
Was she crying? Is that why? At what point did she start crying?
When I'm talking about the relationship about not being compatible. And when she's talking about there was somebody else, that's where she started crying. That's where I thought, it was mascara. I didn't know if it was it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
The thing I found fascinating was that there was no mention of black tears or black goo or black oil-like substance coming out of her eyes. And as soon as Chris Watts says he attributed it to mascara, and he asked the police, I don't know, what is it? They're all like, I don't know, do you know, I don't know, we don't know, let's just skip right over that and start redirecting the conversation, redirecting the interview, like Tammy Lee said.
You kept talking about the mascara. Did you see mascara on her face?
Yes, it looked like it was like. That's what I attributed it to.
Was she crying? Is that why? At what point did she start crying?
When I'm talking about the relationship about not being compatible. And when she's talking about there was somebody else, that's where she started crying.
That's what I thought, it was mascara. I didn't know if it was it.
I don't know.
I don't know.